are just about to walk in and see Tomb Raider.
Yes. I mean, I'm expecting it to be pretty okay. Not terrible, but like a better video game movie than Assassin's Creed. You know, just above that. What are you expecting?
I actually expect nothing from this movie. Not that I don't think it's going to be good, but I think I don't have any expectations because I don't have anything else to go on it except maybe the Angelina Jolie version of it. So I guess I'll be basing it off that.
We'll see how it goes.
Except my mum said, "Oh, I heard it was terrible," as I walked out of the house. So we'll see.
Well, we've got that now, don't we?
Welcome to ETTO, I am Maze.
I'm the Doctor of Who.
And we have just come back from seeing Tomb Raider.
And you know who came back from seeing Tomb Raider like 3 days ago? Josh. And throughout this video, there'll be a little bit of Josh. Here's a little bit of his package. Oh my god, Josh!
No, not that one!
Why was that it?
Wrong video!
This one!
Yeah, I actually dug this movie. I see the flaws. I know it's not perfect. There are parts that I didn't like. For the most part, I enjoyed it. It was pretty fun.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh. It was a film.
It was a film.
It was okay.
I mean, look, the things that are terrible about it are terrible about most films. It's not like this is bad because it's a video game film. It's bad because it's a bad film. Not bad, average. Average at best.
Average. It's a for somebody who hasn't played the game, didn't know the kind of in references or anything.
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
Very cliche, a very poorly written villain, but for somebody who isn't trained in knowing these things,
Yeah.
it's an entertaining movie.
It's totally fine. And even the things that it does do, we'll get into spoilers in a sec, but even the things it does do from the game, it does well. I think the bits it takes from the game are actually probably the best bits of the film.
Although, I have to say, I kind of did go, oh, that's a game thing.
Oh, there's some moments.
Like I said, it was a very entertaining movie. I think a lot of women may come out of this going, man, I want her body, or, you know, gosh, she's so strong, or, I don't know, something like that's how I came out.
Well, yeah, I think Lara Croft is great in this because she's so real.
She reacts to situations in ways that I would do it, which I think found her more relatable than past. So, for example, Angelina Jolie version, which I adore, she like fall off a 20-story building and be like, oh, you know, and keep going.
Yeah.
And it's just not that realistic, whereas this girl is just...
She was going through the wars.
Yeah, and you felt that. You could almost feel her exhaustion as she kept going, which was really nice to watch.
It was very cool. Yeah, I think as a true translation from the new games, Alicia Vikander does a phenomenal job. She's really good. Also, one of her co-stars,
First Mate, we'll call him First Mate.
First Mate, he's really good. He is probably the most well-written character in this. Ironically, despite it being called Tomb Raider, the other guy is he's the cool guy. He
was just the most normal out of all of them, I think. You know, I think Lara Croft as a character is mildly unrelatable in as much as she's an heiress of a huge fortune. Now we obviously are not, whereas he was just some guy whose dad went missing or something.
Yeah, he was just real. He was funny as well.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. Well-written character.
Well-written. Compared to the villain, which was utter... Oh, man.
Oh, look at it.
It's Walton something or other. He's played bad guys in every second film. He usually does a really good job. I mean, he sinks his teeth into this role, but the problem is, it's like, you know, and I'm not paying out vegan stuff because all the time it always tastes really good. But it's like if there was like a vegan steak.
Yeah.
Where it's like he did his best, but then he like, once he'd start, he was like, oh, something's wrong. And like he just tried to scramble through the rest of the film going,
it's like, no,
I'm a bad guy!
Yeah.
Oh, I'm bad!
I'm gonna look like I'm really bad in this one. Spent half the movie just going, you know, and
Bad guy seemed pretty menacing, but also just sort of... He had his motive about just wanting to go home to his family no matter what, because he'd been there for 7 years. It was sort of... seemed to be sending him insane.
I get it. He's got a motive, but really, man, not that good of a bad guy.
He was just not he was not scary in the slightest. The plot of the film is very simple. It's like, there's this thing, we've got to get to the thing before the bad guy gets to the thing. It's
every other movie ever.
Every archaeological, it's just, you know, whatever. So, and I mean, in the same way Jumanji, but not as good, it never goes outside of that. It never does anything that is like, that's weird, that's nothing to do with the story, apart from one bit. But yeah, I think the plot it's closed loop. does its job. It's just a bit boring and a bit samey.
One of the comments I kept making to myself and out loud, the poor people next to me who think I ruined their movie, was, oh, this line again, oh my gosh, I've seen this before, this is cliche, move on, find something new, please, I'm bored.
Yeah, the fact that like they managed to make Lara Croft, which is like the birth of action adventure games, they managed to make that boring and cliche. Like, what as I said, it's not a bad video game film, it's just an average film. It's just, doesn't do anything interesting. But to get into the things that it doesn't really do interesting, we're going to have to go into spoilers. If you haven't seen the film, go see the film.
And then come back.
Straight off, what's something spoilery that you didn't like?
That I didn't like.
Or did, but I'm going to assume that it didn't.
The opening scene to set the movie was in modern day London, and she was just kind of plonked there, you know, ended up being a black messenger, and there's this chase that happens in the beginning of the film that is just like, oh, we need some more action. You know, let her run into a police car and end up in jail.
I was like, oh, is this going to be this weird, like she's broken her legs and it's like she has to regain her strength and become a bit. No, she just ends up. She's fine. She's totally fine.
She ends up just in the police thing, and in walks another character whose name we never really know, and isn't really in it at all, and not introduced much. Yeah. So you don't really care.
But she's kind of prominent enough that you're like, you must have something to do with this story.
The fact that Anna, I think in the games it was like her dad's lover after her mum died or whatever, they seem to really obviously show that she was evil despite her never doing anything evil. You could sort of tell right from the start that she was going to be evil just by the shots, just by the camera angles and just the way she sort of was pushing Lara to do things.
And then she comes back at the end.
She's the big bad guy, apparently.
Apparently, for the possible next movie.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, all the real world stuff. It was a very strange choice.
Yeah.
And it was like, in video games, this is a video game trope. In video games, at the start of a game, and Tomb Raider does this, but not like they do it. You strip your character of all their abilities, or of all their abilities, Black Panther reference. Yeah, you strip them of all their things, and then they have to gain it back, which this film does. But she doesn't gain anything in all the modern day stuff.
She's practicing kickboxing.
Which she kind of, I mean, that does come back.
Yeah.
But it's very like,
it's
this is important.
Reference, you know?
Yeah.
The fact that she couldn't do this one move at the beginning of the movie, I know she's gonna bloody do it at the end of the movie, which she does.
Yeah, and I feel like she does it
in a cool way.
She does it very cool. But she also does it like early on with the other dude as well. So like the payoff was really early. But then that other time she does it, it's also important. It's just like, the bike race is just phenomenally absurd. I want to go into it much longer because we should get to the rest of the film because there's like 3 hours worth of stuff. I was like, she's gonna go onto an island. There's no bikes on this island. There's no paint on this island. I said to Zara on the way back, I was like, what they could have done was she could have gotten shot or something and then like running through the forest and there's just a blood trail and the bad guys are following the blood trail because
it
kind
would
of
have
like
been a very macabre way of tying two things.
Yeah.
What they could have done it.
They could have done something, but they just
so in contrast to the actual storyline that it made very little sense in hindsight for this movie.
The other big thing that I hated about the first 20 minutes of this film, which is insane, there's 2 big things, is the film starts with an opening narration of a dad telling the story about the big thing in the film, and that's kind of its own thing, and I was like, cool, this is what a lot of B-grade films do. There's always the big narration of the adventure that's about to unfold.
Like, okay, I understand this.
I can take this in.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You've got all these images, I'm understanding exactly where the story is, and then not even half an hour, like 20 minutes later,
20 minutes.
I really enjoyed the key. That was a very cool, that was a clever little riddle. But she walks in, and then there's a video message from her dad, and that's really cool. But then the narration comes back, word for word, and like, not just word for word, they also show the images on the wall in the same sequence.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yep, we've got it, okay. She's bad, she's a bad evil witch. She's kind of entombed, where are we going?
Even then, though, and I don't know if you felt like this, because I know you think you felt it was very predictable, it was very clear that she did it herself. Like, I felt like this film is setting up, a very strong, powerful female character. I was like, it'd be very strange if the only other female character in this film is pushed around by her men. So I was like, that's going to be switched.
I did not see, I didn't pick up on that. I'm usually very good with that, but that was it.
Yeah, I was just like, I can't...
But may I just say that I think it wasn't clear enough. I was like, where are they going? Okay, so it's not really. So she didn't like.
It was
get
the whole
thrown
point of
into
the
this
film.
island.
We're going all the way to the end of the film, basically. The whole point of this film is this woman in this tomb, this empress.
Yeah.
And when they open it, it turns out to be fake, but then it doesn't, and it's just.
Yeah,
It's
that
just
was
like
weird.
what are you conveying to us? Is she really carrying a virus?
Yeah.
Is she this weird like Disney World attraction or what's going on?
Oh, it's a small world after all.
Yeah, it really is. She found her dad on the island in like 10 minutes. Tiny world.
And he was crazy for 2 minutes, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm back to normal."
As soon as she sort of semi-proves that she actually exists, he snaps out of it and he just becomes like a normal, everyday person who has been living in society.
And he was fine. Didn't have any crazy moments after that.
7 years by himself.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I'm back to normal. Okay.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Alright. Even
Hello, Sprout. Oh. Oh my goodness.
Sprout!
Sprout.
Sprout!
Oh, hello there, Sprout.
Yeah, like
Good
the
on,
fact
Sprout.
that
Good on you, Sprout. Yeah, Sprout. Shut up, Sprout.
nicknames are tied to something. This film never gives you a bit where she's like a tiny baby and he's like, wow, she looks like a Sprout or something. Like, it's just it's like a forced nickname. I never remember it at any game. It's
No, it should not have been there. Did not work. And this weird, like, kiss on the head thing.
Freaking
And at the
Katniss
end-
Everdeen all the time.
And at the end, she's like, it's like some kind of thing. It reminded me from Mockingjay when they do that.
Yeah, the Katniss
But
Everdeen
it's not.
thing.
She just kisses her fingers and do. And I'm like,
I was like, you know, it would be really funny if he does that and then touches his forehead. She's like, oh. The dad even being in this film is very strange because
should not have been in the film.
like there's no emotional. I don't care about him. Like the way the film is set out, it kind of feels like The Last Jedi and like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Crystal Skull. What a terrible film! It's like there's been 3 films with her dad, and this is the 4th film in a series where you're introduced to his daughter for the first time, and this is the person that's going to carry the next trilogy. And so when she sees the dad, you should be like, oh, he's not dead after all. My favorite character is still alive, but it's just like,
Oh yeah, I knew that was going to
Yeah,
happen.
cool.
And he didn't further the plot at all.
No,
because Lara literally did every single thing. And she didn't kill him. She should have killed him at the beginning of the tomb.
Really should have,
She
yeah.
really should have just like thrown thing and he just should have died.
Mhm.
Didn't further the plot at all.
And friggin' Walter Goggins, I think that's his name, bad guy. The fact he doesn't just shoot him in the head, like the fact that
You're a bad guy.
just shoot him, it's
Be
fine.
bad. We're ranting.
Once she actually gets onto the island and Matthias kind of picks her up and they're having their first back and forth and he says, you must be hungry, and gives her like a can of something. She eats it like a maniac. They don't really say how long she's been out for, but I can't imagine it's enough to be eating like that. It just seemed very out of place and very sort of desperate for no reason. When she's sort of been taken hostage and they're all working together, Matthias comes along and then aims at Lara. And I think there's a bit of music, but there was this heartbeat and it got louder and louder. That is like a major thing in games. When you were close to death, the heartbeat would sort of be playing until you recovered a little bit more and then it would fade off. And that's exactly what happened. She was essentially, in a way, close to death. So the heartbeat sound effect came up. I thought that was a really interesting, like, little subtle throwback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her acting,
Mhm.
amazing. Most of my favorite moments in the film was her relatability when she got hurt. So she'd be like, oh, making all these noises. And a cute little raspy
real.
squeak thing.
Yeah.
I was digging that sound. It was a great moment. And one of my moments that stood out to me the most from the film was her first kill, because we're assuming that Lara has not killed anybody before this point, and it's shot wonderfully. You can hear the emotion in her voice. The guy who dies very well, and then she just has this moment of shock and realization that she's just killed somebody. I liked the death. I liked the painful noises.
Yeah, it's another moment in the game that happens as well, and it's like they translated that really well. The boat scene, which you mentioned you really loved it before
that
even.
was great.
It's just it was not shot for shot, but they like what I want from if you're gonna do a video game film, just take things, do them well, and then make a good story around those moments.
Yeah.
Just problem. The good story didn't really.
That ship breaking apart was great. It
Oh,
was a good
I
10
love.
minute.
She falls in and there's this like flickering light, and for a second I was like, that's a weird. Oh, it's the lightning. Like there's just.
Yeah, the effects were done so well. It just subtly revealed different parts of the breaking ship, the crashing waves, the ominous island on the horizon.
Yeah, well, like the bit where she's like talking to Boatman, and then suddenly the rock just appears and just goes. It was like, ah!
Yeah, that was really good.
It was very
and there's
cool.
this shot where you see kind of the boat being moved by the waves over the rock, and it bends, and you can hear it. I'm like, oh, this is good moment.
I know there's probably a lot of fan service in this, but I really dug it. I thought it was done fairly tastefully. There was one bit where she sort of said, it's a colour puzzle, sort of like, it's a game, but it seemed a little bit forced that she had to say it was a colour puzzle. After scene after scene after scene of her narrowly escaping death, and she lands on the ground and she has that spike through her, that is an awesome throwback to the first reboot game. The ice pick. I loved that. I know it was like super obvious. It sort of almost had to happen. She had to have that ice pick at some point because it's a massive part of the new games. I'm probably giving it too much liberty, and maybe Will and Zara are tearing it apart, and potentially critics too. But I kind of liked it because fan service.
Well, it's a good thing you've got good hair.
Unlike a lot of video game films, unlike a lot of blockbuster films, it has really good visual effects. There's a lot of things problem with this, but this feels like a real world. Everything feels very real. Nothing feels like a set, really, apart from the Australian outback on that island.
Oh, it's dark, it's raining, she's just washed up on the shore, she's battered and bruised from, being thrown against the rocks and, ships breaking apart and stuff. Ominous figure, knocks her in the back of her head, wake up in a tent, walk outside, and it's bloody Australia!
Bloody Alice Springs.
Alice Springs, it's dry as, doesn't look like it has been raining.
Yeah.
Also, on that point, while we're in the tent scene, bad guy, whatever his name was, he's like, I haven't spoken to anybody in 7 years, except the other person on the other end of the sign. And they tell me that unless I finish my quest, I can't go home. She walks in the tent, there's bloody people everywhere. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is
Talk
not
to them.
working.
That's why everyone can just leave, because one person gets hit in the head with a shovel. You're not talking to your men. That's the issue.
When they go inside the tomb and they hit the first booby trap and the guy gets stabbed and falls down and dies, and the dad says, this wasn't designed to keep people out. It was designed to keep people in. What gave him that impression? It's a bridge, she stepped on something and just spikes came out of everywhere. Where does that even come from? It was a cool line, but I don't feel like it was warranted at all.
The only issue I can see is the writing, the characters, the plot, the beat me out, the f***ing cliches over and over again. Just,
oh my goodness.
It's 2018, do something new, for goodness sake. Fun fact though, my last experience with Tomb Raider was me rage quitting the game.
We should fix that. We should fix that.
Just the rage quitting in general? Or
well, and playing Tomb Raider.
I guess we'll see what comes up later.
Will there be a sequel? I mean,
I really hope not.
The end was corny as shit. Like her oh look, I used 2 of them. It's like, oh, just stop.
That was a good moment.
It was corny, I guess, to some extent, but I don't know, I still dug it. It was kind of funny.
I think the corny thing about the end was when she's like, do we own all these companies? And it ends up being the evil company that was on the island that the dad actually owned, and it was the evil woman that she just, it was the Guardian who was never really named. Just was given over the entire company, and she's somehow into it. That set it up for the next movie. I didn't like that.
I just don't care. I don't want more of these.
No. If you do, get new writers.
Get new writers.
Please.
Yeah.
I loved the final credits. It looked like the final credits of a game, having kind of sketches and stuff everywhere. It almost looked like showing sort of concept art stuff that the artists would have done when they were coming up with designs and things, but also sketches in diaries of ancestors and things like that. In the credits, I thought that was a beautiful touch.
What? He said that? Oh, no, that's droidist. That's droidist.
But thank you for watching our thoughts and review on Tomb Raider. Coming up this week, I think we've got also a Josh video. He's gonna play an old game, I think.
Ooh, ETTO!
ETTO?
Our first edition of ETTO!
And I might play a game as well.
Ah.
If I've got time. If not, maybe you can play a game. And
I will definitely not try very hard not to rage quit.
that was a sentence. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment down below what you thought of the film, or pretend you've seen the film and comment what you thought of it, because I assume most of you don't want to see the film.
Yes. Yeah.
But until the next one, no groove out.
Zara, maze out! What was it? Maze out! No, Will's gone upstairs. No, it's just the two of us now. Oh my gosh!